was not vulgar. President Bush was never vulgar in that way.
I'm not going back that far. Let's go back to George Washington. I'm going back to Obama. Obama was a classy guy. It was like, it's like the movie Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. He had to be perfect.
President Clinton was not, which is where I think all of this started, by the way. And
the Mother Jones post that claims Trump wanted porn star Stormy Daniels to spank him with a copy of Forbes magazine that had him and his kids on the cover. Do those Russian hookers mean nothing to him? Did you read the interview with her? I mean, yes. Well, he wanted to spend. He had a Forbes magazine with his face on it.
Last night, I read this online right before I went to see. I went to see Waitress, by the way, which is amazing. If any of you come to New York, it was incredible. My friend Clay and I went, and I was at dinner reading it, and I just tweeted, "That's enough internet today. I think I'm done with the Forbes spanking of our president." Let me just finish. The vulgarity of all of this. I'm no snowflake, Daisy. Like I can hang. I hang out with you all the time, Joy. But I will say that it reminds me of when I know. It reminds me though of when Binders Full of Women was like the most controversial thing a Republican man could say. Come on, don't you have a little nostalgia, Joy, for Binders Full of Women?
I do. Listen, I would bring Romney. Come back, Romney. Well, it's forgiven. I don't want him to be president, but I'd like him in the conversation.
The vulgarity is because perhaps we have a vulgar person in the White
House. Of course.
I mean, that's what's so remarkable to me. And I mean, this Stormy Daniels story, which again, I don't think his base cares at all about, but I find it very messy and juicy and intriguing.
Why don't they care about the fact that Melania is home with baby?
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they care.
And when Stormy Daniels said to him, "Well, what's up with the wife?" He's like, "I don't worry about it."
They've kind of decided that whatever he does is okay, because as long as they get this man that they've always worshipped to tell them that they're going to be okay, even though he's proven that he can't make their lives any better or in the world any greater.
The religious right is really, they give hypocrisy a bad name.
Though, that it is the cult of personality, which is not traditionally sort of like an American pastime, at least politically, in the way that it has become. And it is sort of like, I know Trump supporters, and when I ask questions like this, they're like, but the economy, but immigration, but whatever. And it's weird that we have come to a place where moral character has always been important to me in leaders. And now it seems like it maybe all bets are off.
But he said, when you're famous, you can get away with it. So he literally was talking about the women that he liked to grab certain parts of them. But really, it's anything. When you're famous, you can get away.
You had a classy guy in the White House for 8 years. He never did anything wrong.
Come on. Bush loves
You're talking about vulgarity now.
President Bush was not vulgar. President Bush was never vulgar in that way.
No, I'm not going back that far. Let's go back to George Washington. I'm going back to Obama. Obama was a classy guy. It was like, it's like the movie Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. He had to be perfect.
President Clinton was not, which is where I think all of this started, by the way. And I'm just saying, you want to talk about the last 16 years?
Listen.
Let's go back to the teapot zone.
Human beings are fallible, and they make mistakes. And sometimes people that are great in one area of their life, making policy or whatever, they're horrible in how they deal with their wives and all that. But what we're dealing with now is a level that we have never seen in politics. And maybe I feel like we are lesser as a nation. We're lesser as people. I feel like we treat each other coarser. Everything's gotten coarser now.
And why is that? Because the fish stinks from the head.
Yes.
Oh, here's the thing that's going on. We could be just hours away from a government shutdown, and we know one person who's already a victim. Donald Trump. Why is he a victim? Because he scrapped his plans to play golf in Mar-a-Lago, to stay in and see if he can work this out. So how could, he do that? Is he really happy about this, do you think?
No, could you imagine that'd be a really bad look if he's down in Florida and the government shuts down?
Golfing.
Right? I'm sad for him.
You feel sad
I feel sad for him.
Why?
Because I just want him to enjoy his life. And I want him to just be able to golf as much as he wants and say whatever he wants on Twitter. And I'm so sad that everybody's so mean to him.
Oh.
Sad.
I would like him to enjoy his life, too.
Wouldn't you like that?
Away from the White House. So some people will be affected by the shutdown, the government workers, etc. Some people are going to be affected. It's not good.
Part of the CDC might
shut
down.
It's not just that veterans' pays get postponed. And there are a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck, unfortunately, in the military as well. And national parks will end up being closed. Can you imagine taking a trip to the Grand Canyon and then getting there and it's actually closed? Right. It affects a lot of people. I was 100% against it when Republicans did this in 2013 because I thought it started a dangerous precedence. All of us in here, if we're having a bad day at work or we don't like something, we don't just not show up and the show goes off the air. That's not how life works. It shouldn't be the same precedence for the government, too.
Well, the blame game is going on right now. Republicans and Democrats are blaming each other if this happens. But, you know, let's not forget something. Trump blamed Barack Obama back in 2013. Look at the tweet. He tweeted this in 2013. The reason why Americans have to worry about a government shutdown is because Obama refuses to pass a budget. Now, since this is a blame game, don't you think that we should then blame the president? If he thought he should blame Obama, maybe we should blame him.
Well, I will say what I don't understand. I think I was talking to you about it, Megan, the other day. If the Republicans are in charge of the executive branch and the legislative branch, I mean, they're controlling everything. How is it the Democrats' fault if there's a government shutdown?
Well, basically,
I don't understand that. The dynamic.
Because they're throwing DACA into a bill about...
Right, but he's the one that reversed...
He to deal with DACA.
He reversed DACA. So it's like this all starts and begins at that resolute desk that he sits at.
Yeah.
And even though he doesn't say, I'm sorry, and even though he doesn't take blame for things, this is squarely on his shoulders. So... I'm sorry
it's also sending mixed signals.
Right.
I mean, he's equivocating, so the Democrats don't really know where he stands, and the Republicans don't know where he stands, which you got to have, if you're a leader, you got to have a clear message.
But Chuck Schumer in 2013 said the basic line is no matter how strongly one feels about an issue, you shouldn't hold millions of people hostage. Right. That's what the other side is doing. That's wrong, and we can't give into that. I think everyone is wrong across the board. Again, the fact that we can't come to some kind of, bipartisan deal on this.
Well, they had that with Lindsey Graham and Dickie Durbin, and they blew it.
Dickie Durbin.
That's what Trump calls him, Dickie Durbin. And so Trump blew it because he had Steve Miller or Kelly talking in his ear, and he decided no.
He
goes from this to this to this to this.
The approval rating of all of Congress is around 13%, and this, I think, is why. The average American, again, if we don't like what's happening at home, you don't like what's happening.
This is what I don't understand. We were able to get that tax plan done real quick. And a lot of rich people are going to benefit from it.
They didn't need that.
No, I know they don't need it, but the other thing is when they hustle, when they want to hustle for something, they can hustle for something. And I'm saying this involves immigrants, this involves young people. This is important, and somehow they can't seem to come together on this.
I believe they didn't need as many Democratic votes for that one.
But here's the thing about why do you have to include them in the same bill? Why do you, I mean, right now, even with this is just going to be...
It's the only thing they have.
No, it's not. This is just a stopgap because they're going to have to come back to this in mid-February. DACA doesn't expire until March.
I think
why do we have to tie them together?
Because they have it right now. They have to right now. This is the one thing that they have to hold.
That's right.
That's it. That's what they have. They have to use the bargaining chip that they have. Yeah. And thank God it's something that will actually help people. I don't mind them bargaining with this. I don't want the government to shut down. But if you're going to fight for something that helps people, and this helps people.
Yeah. And let's face it, the reason DACA was passed in 2013 is because President Obama was sick and tired of trying to work with Republicans to get this legislation passed, and they wouldn't do it. So now the suggestion somehow that DACA recipients and immigrants need to wait again and again and again. I think we are all saying no. We are tired. Let Haitian people come here to this country. Let Africans come here to this country. And by God, let these DACA recipients, these dreamers, stay here. We're talking about almost 1 million people.
I think the American people, I think they do see past the hypocrisy, as you brought up. Like, there are both sides that are doing this, and the posturing. Yeah. And I just think it's got to be so frustrating. And let's not forget, throughout all of this, yes, some of the payments for the military will be deferred, and non-essential employees will not get paid if they're not working, but Congress will.
Yeah,
government officials will get paid.
We're back with Senator Lindsey Graham. Go ahead.
All right. You were following up with something.
Yeah. We were talking about whether Trump was a kook or not, but right now I want to ask you if the kook is going to get us immigration fixed. I mean, you and I know this, and you've been working on this for decades, as has John McCain, and immigration fix. There are right now over millions of young people whose lives are in limbo, dreamers, DACA recipients. There's a deadline in March. We see that the president says he's in a deal-making mood. Congress says they want to do it. But what would you tell dreamers today? There's over 1,000 of them losing their status daily. What would you tell them is going on? Give us some hope, Lindsey.
In 3 minutes.
Help is on the way. So John McCain got me involved in the immigration issue. You know, the Hispanic community in my state, you probably fit in a phone booth electorally. In Arizona, it's a big deal with broken borders, and Senator McCain led the effort by the Republican Party to find a fair way to fix this. Be fair to the 11 million who broke the law, but fix the reason why we have 11 million and move forward as a nation. We're really close. Trump ran a very harsh campaign on immigration. But wouldn't it be ironic and poetic if it was Donald Trump who got this over the line? We passed comprehensive immigration reform 3 times in the U.S. Senate that gave the 11 million a pathway to citizenship, secured our border, controlled who got a job through E-Verify, and had more legal immigration so people didn't have to cheat. It died in the House.
Trump can do it when Obama and Bush couldn't.
Trump can. Okay, I'm meeting tomorrow at 11:30 with General Kelly, a bunch of Democrats and a bunch of Republicans to see if we can find a way to have a wall component of border security. You don't need a 2,200-mile wall, but in some places you do need a wall. For a wall component to border security, do away the diversity lottery because it's a stupid way to give out visas. Deal with chain migration in a responsible fashion. For that, give the DACA kids plus others, the DREAM Act kids, a chance to stay in the country. This is the only country they know. If you told them to go home, they'd go back to the house they've lived in since they were 6 years old. Most Americans have no animosity toward these kids. Most Americans would like to secure our border. Most Americans like to fix a broken immigration system. If President Trump can make this happen, it will be a historic thing. It will be a good thing. Why am I helping him? Because somebody better deal with North Korea before they get a missile to hit us. He's our president. He is taking the gloves off against ISIL and rebuilding our military, and I want to thank him for that.
But does it help when he says mine is bigger than yours? Does that help?
I'm not so sure that helps, but I know this. What we did before sure as hell didn't help.
Yeah, but
Kim Jong-un is taking this.
Kim Jong-un wasn't coming for us the way he's coming for us now, Lindsay.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you this.
Come on now. You can't say to a man, you know this, men don't want to hear, oh, you're small, you're this, you're that. It becomes this ridiculous.
You know what's ridiculous? It's for us to let him have a missile with a nuclear weapon on top to hit us. And Donald Trump is the president who has to deal with this. Every president before him screwed up. Republican and Democrats. But you know what? He's got the best national security team around him. General Mattis, General Kelly, General McMaster are the best in their...
We got to go.
The best in the business. There's hope.
Thank you to the senator.
There's hope.
We'll be right back.